This is where people were living in the bathroom. Peekaboo, I see you. What the fudge? What the f***? We just won a 2-family house at foreclosure auction for prices that we used to pay back in 2012 and 13. It's not all rosy because with foreclosure auction, there's a lot of nuances. And when this one was occupied, wow, I have yet to go inside. I'm gonna go in soon to kind of, be first glance with you guys. But Kevin was already out here and we'll talk about that in a second. But as always, guys, we're gonna go over some of the downsides of foreclosure auctions that you need to be careful of. If you have questions on anything that I talk about, leave a comment below so that you guys can be a little bit more educated when you're going to foreclosure auctions, and so you hopefully don't get hurt like we've gotten in the past. As always, guys, we're Two Guys Take on Real Estate. We buy hundreds of properties at foreclosure auction. We've got a lot of rental properties. We kind of have been doing this for now together for 18 plus years. I've been doing this since I was 16 years old, so we've had a lot of ups and downs. We made a lot of mistakes. We try to teach you from our mistakes so you don't make the same ones. So I just let you know, when we're giving you advice, we're telling you stuff that we've made had the issues with, and we don't want you to make the same one. So try to listen up if you can, and I hope you learned something. So let's get to it. This is a 2-family house in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. We won this thing for $61,000. Yeah, $61,000, and that's because really no one else showed up at the foreclosure auction. And it happens from time to time. That's why we always try to go to every auction. And honestly, on the outside, look at this. It's, we got vinyl siding. The roof is in less desirable shape. But, the railing needs to be some work, but, it looks like mostly newer windows. Some storm needs have to be done. We've got, a storm door that needs to be replaced. There is now trash I see in the yard. Now, when I was here, right before the auction, and Kevin actually went to the auction, there was snow on the ground. So once again, this is where you gotta be cautious because we couldn't see the roof. The roof was all snowed over. We did look on Google Street View, and that helped us give it a little bit more because we could see from when that happened that the roof was definitely in rougher shape. And we couldn't see all the trash on the yard, but now that it's melted, we see even more, like all this crap that I'm walking over. But still, all in all, not that bad. And these birds are fighting over here. Wow. All right, so all that was covered in snow, by the way, when I was here. So I didn't see that. So these are kind of things like during the winter you got to be careful of that you're not going to see. More mattresses, more mattresses. Hold on, I'm just walking back here, and yep, why are mattresses stacked up here? So all in all, it didn't look that bad. I mean, yeah, trash on the outside a little bit. We knew we needed a brand new roof. Okay, not a big deal. I mean, honestly, at the price that we got it at, I mean, holy camoly, home run home that we're doing. But we knew it was occupied. That's where it really takes a turn when you're buying stuff at foreclosure auction that you really need to be risky for. Now, like I say, I love buying stuff at foreclosure auction. You can often get better deals than you can get on anywhere else. But there comes some risk, and that risk is occupied property. And how are you going to handle that? How are you going to deal with occupied tenants and what can be the downsides? I want to talk a little bit more about that today. I'm going to walk this house. I've never seen inside yet. I just heard what Kevin has said and what our guy did when he did the lock change. But we have 2 units here. It has been not trashed out yet, but it has been. We got the first floor out, which was awesome. And, oh, hello.
Hi.
Hi, I'm sorry. I'm just here from the management company just to get to the first floor. Do I go to a different door? I'm sorry.
I think they blocked it all off yesterday.
Oh, okay.
There's another back door.
Another back door?
Try that, but
okay.
I thought he boarded everything up.
Oh, okay.
He did put a new lock on it.
Yes, okay, perfect. Okay. Let's get into this thing. So as I was saying, buying occupied property is highly, highly risky. You never know what you're going to get, and this is case in point. The first floor situation here is, wow. There are people here, and they were basically, from the former owner's sons. First floor, the second floor, nice guy, seems pretty decent. I'm just got to be very cautious where I walk and what I step on. But basically, we had a lot of little illegal activity going on in this unit, and just stuff that was not loud, and we had to have Kevin come out here and do his magic. Now, you know, if you don't have experience handling with people like this, oh my, what the heck? Peekaboo, I see you. What the fudge? Oh, okay. What? And you never know really, you know, what you're going to get into these situations here. Oh my God. You all ate past this door. What the fudge? Take your blah blah shoes off or kindly go blah 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 yourself. Wow, nice. Try to negotiate these people out. That's generally the best way we've done. We do try to, you know, talk out cash for keys deal and work something out with them, but you never know what you're going to get. You got to be very, very cautious because what the fuck? Got to go through the court process, you know, and evict them as essentially squatters. They're basically holdover occupants. And Steph, you broke my heart again. I'm all done. Go away. Okay. And so, you know, this can be a huge risk. I mean, the holding costs alone could just eat away. I actually just talked to another of our friends, and she almost had 3 years. She bought one at auction, 3 years to finally get them out. I've never had that situation, but that was hers. So that's by far the worst I've ever heard. 3 years. And, you know, I think she got use in occupancy, so that's basically where you work with the judge and they have to actually pay you to use the place. But that's all good and well, but you're not necessarily getting market rent. I mean, we've had a use in occupancy that was a couple $100. Basically, because they were questioning the mortgage that it was, or it was invalid foreclosure, and so the judge ordered only to basically cover our like utility costs, the water and sewer and stuff like that. So even though we had hard money loan on the property, which we explained that to the judge, it didn't matter. They're like, well, that's your choice. You chose not to do that, and so we didn't get our actual costs. So we were still losing money every month with use and occupancy. The person who had 3 years, I don't know what her situation was with them. Maybe she got a little bit more. I don't know. But that's a risk that you can take on when you're buying these foreclosure properties. Now, once again, like I said, this is prices that we were able to get from like 2012. So that's great. You know, we'll do well. And luckily, Kevin is a master negotiator. Good job, Kev. And he was able to get these people out in really quick time. We also had to bring in the police and deal with it a little bit more, put a lot of pressure on it, but we followed the law and we were able to get them out quickly, which is awesome. And now, you know, we got to deal with this freaking mess. I don't know who I'm going to find out for a trash out because this is definitely got to be very, very careful with that. This is where people were living in the bathroom. There is no toilet. So this is just literally the sink here. I don't even want to know what was going on in there. Oh my God. But people were living in here. I mean, living is probably not the word I'd use, but people were in here. That's just nasty. And, I mean, this is just, and this is after they grabbed some of their stuff out of here, by the way. So what it was like even before that, I don't want to know. And one of my guys already said he was moving stuff to get to the windows to secure it, and just needles were falling out and everywhere. It's just disgusting. So yeah, I mean, buying occupied property, that foreclosure auction where, like I said, can be a fantastic price like we got on this one, which I'm stoked about. And then Kevin was, you know, a master negotiator. So if you can do a cash for keys, highly recommend it. Try to get it, and it might be worth doing a higher cash for keys to get, you know, yourself so much more time and to start working on the project. This is something that you're taking on risk when you're buying a foreclosure auction. Like I said, these can be one of the best deals that you're going to get, and but it can also, some of the stuff I'm seeing, I'm just kind of still just baffled. I still have to get to the basement, which I believe is through this door. So we'll see what happens in there. All right, here we go. Well, honestly, I'd rather be down here. Yeah, that's mildew, mold-like substance. Ooh. It's just barely jacked up. We're going to fix that. Yikes. The boiler doesn't look too bad. New expansion tank. We got electrical systems. All right, so we got fuses. with a little sub panel. Okay, I'll have to get that upgraded. But now that we got everyone out, it's going to be a lot easier. So, yes, I mean, once again, buying prices, which is fantastic. I mean, can be a home run for someone doing a house hack, but this isn't for the faint of heart. And that's why I just can't emphasize that more and more and more, is that when you're buying at foreclosures, when they're occupied, if you have very limited experience, bring in a lawyer right away if you're going to do it. Get it done as fast as possible. If you can negotiate yourself with them or whatever, if you have that experience, you have that comfort level, great. But it might be better just to buy that foreclosure auction with vacant properties, because then at least you're going to not have to deal with this kind of stuff. I mean, you might still buy property that's like this, but then at least it's vacant, because these people could be holed over for a long time, and that could cost you tons of money. Like I said, our friend, 3 years. 3 years. That's crazy. But this is going to turn into a home run. Now the question is, are we selling it, wholesaling it, keeping it, renting it, or flipping it? I'm not sure yet. But we did buy a property, another foreclosure auction just around the corner, same street, and a couple of years ago, and we sold that one really well as well. That was also occupied. It did take us a little while because we had to go through the court process. So that one took us, I think, about 6 months to get her out. So just kind of, again, that's part of the name of the game. But if you factor that in also at the auction, and we always do that with part of our, when we're going through our foreclosure, is we're like, how much is it going to cost if it's occupied to get them out? That's something as part of our holding costs or whatever is the occupant, whether it be cash for keys or some form of just holding costs, because it's going to, might take a while, especially if we have to go through the formal eviction process, whatever that might be in your state. We factor that in. You generally do it like 4 months, because it's not often typical that it's a year or 3. So we try to, factor 4 months is what typically we find, 4 to 6 months. So yeah, I don't know. I think that's kind of all I wanted to kind of show you. I just wanted to go here since I've been here, seen it myself. I hope everyone, found this informative. And if you have any questions, leave a comment below, and we'll definitely catch you guys on the next video. Thanks so much.